and we're going to kick off with the big one
Biggie.
the big one in many different ways. This is Godzilla X Kong, big in stature, and it's the biggest film being released. This film, it's the sort of like this week. It's the big sort of tentpole blockbuster wannabe film that's being released this week. And Sean, shall I do a summary and then you jump in?
Yeah, sure. You give a summary. That's a good idea. I
Okay,
always like
so
to have a summary. I always fire from my heart rather than...
yes, we
yeah.
know. And okay, so Godzilla X Kong, there is this thing called the MonsterVerse that they have been building for a while. They've built it. Started off with the Gareth Edwards Godzilla movie that was made, and this was, I think it was 2015, and they've been building this whole thing around this group called Monarch, and they have all these titans, and they're bringing in Godzilla and all of his friends from the Japanese Toho movies. So your Mothras, your King Ghidorahs, and everything like that. And they have made a series of these films. There has been Godzilla Kong Skong Island, Godzilla King of Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, and now Godzilla X Kong, A New Empire. And they are, and in this one, what passes for a plot is that this is a world in which, like, Kong is established, Godzilla's established. They have this thing called the Hollow Earth, where that the Earth is not actually solid, and if you dig down deep, you go into this other world called the Hollow Earth, which is sort of like the upside down of our world, but that's where Kong is now, where there's all these sort of different sort of wonderful creatures, and it's sort of like creature fantasy land in the Hollow Earth, which is where Kong is. And you have Godzilla on the surface Earth. Godzilla's on the surface Earth, essentially protecting the Earth from kaijus while doing his usual thing of destroying cities, and he's destroying all these kaijus that show up all around the place. Big monsters. Godzilla goes, "What? This is my world." Goes, beats them up, atomic breaths them to death, and then goes and has a lie down in the Colosseum in Rome. And now this is actually what happens. Godzilla starts this film pretty much having a nap in the Colosseum in Rome. And everybody in the world just kind of gone, he's Godzilla, he can do what he wants, leave him alone. And so this film kicks off when there's this signal that starts kicking off. And from the last film, we have a Rebecca Hall character who's a scientist who has adopted a daughter who they found on Skull Island, who was part of a tribe called the Iwi. She starts having these sort of like weird dreams, which seem to be because she's the only one who can communicate with Kong, which seems to be connected with something that's going on. And then there's this sort of like signal that's being sent off that wakes Godzilla up from his nap in the Colosseum. Godzilla starts going around the world, essentially charging himself up for what they refer to as World War III. That Godzilla is gearing up for a big battle. Kong's doing his own stuff down in the Hollow Earth. Blah 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 blah. Stuff happens. Plot essentially. Then they come up with a plot that means that eventually these two monsters end up fighting each other, or end up in the same space, shall we say? And that's all you need to know for a plot, because what you came to see is to see big monsters doing big monstery things. and okay, so and Sean, so what do you reckon? What did you think of this? Because
Okay,
you're the big Godzilla head on this
I am the
in
big
this group.
Godzilla head. Yeah, I mean, this one was dumb and silly and fun, and it was what we wanted to see finally. Rather than, I mean, I really enjoyed the 2014 Godzilla.
Yeah.
And then I thought the one with King Ghidorah there was too much talking and too much melodrama, and there was too much yappy.
Too many humans.
Too many humans. There's little humans, and it's just like it starts off. You see a couple of other people, and it's just like a bit of a slugfest, really. So it's quite good fun with buildings getting knocked down and team ups. And I did think that what's the ice monster called? I should know, I know, but I forget the little ice monster.
Shimu,
Gygax. Oh shit, yeah, something like that.
Shimu or something like that.
Shimu, yeah. And at the end, he was a bit too nicey, but he looked too nice to be horrible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was too nice looking. It's like, but then I suppose the situation he was in,
Yes.
maybe you can make allowances for it, but yeah, no, it was just really good fun. So Mothra appears, everybody, and I mean, you got to love Mothra, haven't you? So and then there's that. I forget.
I mean, there is a bit of this where it feels they go, hang on, who have we put in yet?
Yeah,
oh yeah, Mothra, I forgot about him.
Mothra, that's right, because there's that big crabby like one that you did see in one of the other ones.
Yeah, at the beginning,
the beginning. So they've got a lot, and for me, I mean, this is no Godzilla -1 by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. No,
but it still is really good fun. It's what you wanted to see: monsters fighting each other. You don't really have to say much more because that's what it is. And I think they must have listened. They must have listened and said, well, let's keep the human aspect, a little bit towards the side. Although it was quite interesting with the Iwi tribe, I did think that was quite interesting for. I thought that was quite a good concept. But again, it's like with a lot of these, it's all the circumstances are really, really fortunate, aren't they? That
Yes.
certain things fall, like
Yes.
so. Yeah. So if I had my nasty, horrible,
If
puffy,
you had your critical head on, if
if
you
I
were
had
trying
my
to be
critical head
critical
on,
about this,
I could. Yeah. There's so many plot holes, but no, it was fun. It was good fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was a good old slugfest. How about yourself?
well, the thing is, I have to admit with you that I think that because I remember from the first, we went to see the Godzilla, whether it was 2014, 2015, I can't remember which month, which year, but we went to see that one together. And I remember saying that the big problem with these films is that they keep trying to shove human characters in there, and we don't care about the human characters. And this one, I have not been following this MonsterVerse at all.
No.
But this one was the best, I thought, when they got the balance, I think, round about right. Because the first almost 5 minutes of this film is kind of like the film I've been asking for, because it starts off with Kong in the Hollow Earth. There's no humans whatsoever. There's no dialogue whatsoever. It's just animal. It's just these creatures going about doing their thing, and I'm like, okay, yes. Now, and I remember actually you saying about them, because I remember that there was a time we spoke about one of these films, and I said I wanted to see a film. Just cut out the humans. Just give me the animals doing their thing.
Yeah, you're right.
And the first 5 minutes was it was like they had listened, and I was like, yes, this is good. And the way they bring the human characters in, it is not, and it doesn't feel annoying. It feels better. I mean, although to be honest with you, Rebecca Hall, all she does is. Well, it's not all she does, but most of what she does is explain what's going on. Because she just standing there, just starts there going, oh no, Godzilla's annoyed because Kong has entered his territory. Thank you very much, Rebecca Hall. Now get off the screen and let the animals punch each other.
I must admit, the young girl, she was good in the other one as well. She plays a good part, I think. She
plays well.
Is she genuine?
Sorry, what was that?
Is she mute in real life? Or?
I don't know. I don't know whether she's mute or deaf in real life. But
right, okay.
I mean, I haven't looked that up. But I would imagine.
But it'd be interesting.
It would be interesting. But I think the main thing I would say about this is that this film, I was watching it going, this is a load of old gubbins.
Gubbins, yeah, it is a load of old gubbins.
And that's the thing. I think the film is 100% a load of old gubbins. I don't think it tries very much to be anything other than a load of old gubbins. There are bits in the middle where I felt like it was bogged down because they were trying to explain all this stuff and all this thing about this Titan's coming and this Titan's going, this is going up, and there's too much explanation and there's too much sort of like you can feel them moving things to make certain things happen and to get characters in the film, and you're like, why are you?
That's it. I'm just going to ask you one thing, Toast. What Mini Kong? What did you think?
He's
in the trailers, so
he's in the trailers. I mean, a big part of this is about Kong looking for a family because Kong is supposed to be the last of his type. And I mean, from the trailers, they make it really obvious that in this film we are going to find out that Kong is no longer the last of his type, and that in this film that there might be a reason for Kong actually getting the name King.
Yes. But I thought he was integral to the plot. Really, when he was integral, I think but because of the situation. So I think he was. I mean, from the trailer, I thought, oh no, but I was a little bit more forgiving.
I think it is a bit more forgiving in the film, but to be honest with you, Short, bearing in mind, I watched this film back to back with Kung Fu Panda.
Oh right, yeah.
And there's bits in it where I'm like, oh my god, that's the exact same storyline. It's like when I was like, that's the exact same story. What the heck? So even though he's not annoying as you would imagine that he would be annoying, I did feel that it was a bit tropey because I felt almost every beat of his character, there is nothing to be surprised by. There is nothing to come out about. And although I would say one thing that they usually have this whole thing about how whenever you have these monsters, they're always destroying an American city or an American landmark. And in this film, they seem to have made a very definite and a very deliberate ploy to make sure that they share the destruction around the world.
Yeah, they did.
Like Godzilla sleeping in the Colosseum. There's a big bit where they destroy the pyramids in Egypt.
Pyramids, I was going to say, yeah.
There's one other place. There's a bit where they go to like one of the poles, either North or South Pole. the one that has a big C, and and wreak havoc there as well. So yeah, but anyway, so how many stars did you give this, Sean? This
Okay, well, I'm going to
Goblins.
give this. I mean, I enjoyed this. I really, really enjoyed it, but I don't think there was any like wow factor. I don't think it was, a bit. So I mean, I'm going to give this a 3 star. This one's a 3 star for me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. I think
Yeah.
sort of a low to middling 3.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because and you know where we're talking about Godzilla -1, and I mean there was one of the things we spoke about, and I said about the difference between the American treatment of Godzilla and the Japanese treatment of Godzilla.
Yes.
Where in the Japanese treatment of Godzilla, he seems to mean a lot more, and they seem to be trying to say something a bit deeper than this is dumb. This is
it
like,
is. It is.
This is straight
it
down
was.
the middle, dumb American Godzilla.
It's what we wanted to see, wasn't it?
So well, I think it depends. Like for instance, for me, not being a real sort of into the whole thing, I think I might stick to the Japanese Godzillas going forward. I think the American ones, I'll just be like, yeah, a lot of old gubbins. Cool. I might wait for them to come up on TV at some point. All right, cool. So that is 3 stars for Godzilla X Kong: A New Empire, and now